You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by James. Here we go. Episode 7 of Taboo for a review. Real quick, though, apologies for taking longer than normal. Life got in the way, and we hit a little bit of a snag with some computer troubles. Mainly, I fucked up the thing. I blew it. But anyway, that's how it goes. Hopefully, eventually, we get a bigger channel, and we can output more things, and we can quit our fucking day jobs and do this for a living.
I actually had a nightmare last night that I was going back to high school, but I was scared to go to class because everyone else had their taboo reports, so I didn't have mine done yet.
Anxiety about not being a good boy.
Yeah.
Same thing. It has been stressing me that we haven't been on time. So anyway, here we go. Let's get to the review. Speaking of being late, let's start. Boom! Tom Hardy is the guy, and we open up on some wet, mushy stuff. We remember it was a very dramatic ending to episode 6, and Tom Hardy's somewhere. We're not sure quite what.
Yep.
We should call him James Keziah. That's his name. There's sort of a priest giving a funeral talk here for Winter.
Yeah.
Winter. Poor Winter. There she is. It sucks. That's Helga. It's her mom. And it's a sad moment here.
It's a unique funeral though because they're putting her out on a boat, sort of like a Viking funeral almost, but they're not going to light the boat afire. They're just going to sink her out in the river.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how poor people were probably buried back then.
I'd like to be buried that way.
Is there a water source too though?
Is there? I mean, because it could contaminate the water.
Yeah, I mean, they crap in it and they put their dead in it, and then they.
I mean, how many human equivalent pounds of fish die every day? Like, water sources can take a certain amount of biological matter.
Yeah,
it's not like they're dumping a big try to hold 18-wheeler full of cows.
And the woman on the left, does she have like flour all over her face or something?
Yeah, a little bit. This one's got melons all over her chest.
Can't argue with that.
We're real appropriate guys, but yeah, they're not, this is not the kind of send off that the rich folk are getting.
No, and it is kind of sad though because I got the impression that preacher wasn't a high rent preacher too because he gets some of the words wrong. Helga has to step in during her time of mourning and correct him at certain times.
Yeah, that's him looking at her like, all right, bitch, will you fucking calm down? I've done this before, okay? Ugh. Yeah, it was a little bit sad. And then you got the little street urchin children.
Not a lot of people are in attendance at this funeral because Helga is a dock prostitute who, you know, it's horribly sad because Winter was not a bad person. She was a child, didn't deserve to die, obviously not in the way that she did die. So
Winter's a nice character. Like, anybody who's in the show is like, I don't like Winter. Like, no, she's just a nice girl. What's up with you?
I mean, I predicted that Winter was a ghost, so...
That's right. Well,
I made it happen.
You had good reason, because it was a little sixth sensey at first, because you weren't sure if she was ever really around other people being as a ghost, but no, she wasn't a ghost. But how do these kids get all their dressed? They get these costumes are so wacky.
They're actually rich. They just have really crappy parents.
Yeah. They just get it completely wrong.
Yeah, they dress themselves.
Yeah. It's Halloween every day.
Yeah.
They kids get to decide their favorite Halloween. I like this guy. He's just a fan of 8-bit chef knives. I don't know if that even does it look like a little bit of a knife. Okay, sorry, that makes no sense.
And it should be noted that James Delaney is there, but he's standing off at a distance because remember, people still kind of assume that he did it.
He's walking. Yeah, he's nearby. Yeah.
He's not getting close because Helga does not want to be close to him, and he doesn't want to be close to Helga.
That's true.
Because she has blood in her eyes.
Yeah, and we'll find out more about the murder of Winter later on in the episode. So then we go back to Chamber House, which that's the Keziah household, right? Or that's not right, called the Delaney house. Yeah, and so young little Robert, I almost called him Tommy for some reason, are coming in. Skinny Bryan Cranston is like, oh, what's going on here? And he's being delivered. This is, he's dressed up in brown.
Yep,
What's
Chumley.
That? Chumley, spelled Cholmley, spelled Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yes.
He's doing UPS delivery, but he's delivering a boy, and he says, well,
did I get this wrong? I got the impression that James told him to bring Robert to the Delaney household. Is that correct?
I didn't catch that part.
I believe this one was a word of your master who asked me specifically to deliver him in person to this house. So
we got
that did happen.
I must have blinked during that when he spoke that sentence. But yeah, poor little Robert has just been kind of shoved around from one caretaker to another. Hopefully he finds a stable parenting unit to kind of give him the kind of guidance a young man needs and not to turn into a fucking asshole like about half of them.
And it's kind of weird that he asked Chumley to go and deliver him in person to the household because he knows that Lorna lives there, who is standing now behind Bryce, and he knows that Chumley has a thing for Lorna, and James Delaney also kind of seemingly has a thing for Lorna.
I have a thing for Lorna.
Everyone's got a thing for Lorna.
Hey, high five.
But he knows that and he even kind of rejected the books that the guy sent him in the post, saying, don't read that, he's not right for you, or something like that.
Yeah.
And yet he knew that he was going to encounter her going and delivering it, which allowed for a funny moment here, but it was kind of an odd decision.
Yeah, it's not like he was a threat, you know what I mean?
No.
Okay, fine.
And he probably knows that Lorna has absolutely no interest in him whatsoever.
Go see my wife-in-law, and we'll have you, or stepmom-in-law, whatever she is to him. And then, you guys maybe flirt. I don't care. Or maybe
she'll some cow dung together.
She'll rebuff cow dung. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what he does.
She doesn't eat that.
Yeah. What if he just pulled out his wiener and peed into his own mouth?
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of a good fit though, because she was the one who's like, oh, I want to kind of see what's going on with the bloodshed in the dueling island with the NPC woman who sells baubles and things.
Yeah.
And just kind of walks right through the water in her long dress.
Yeah.
She's not a prude.
No, she's not afraid to get down and dirty in the swampy waters to go watch two men shoot each other.
Maybe they will end up together.
Who knows? I didn't sense that they had a spark, though. He was kind of like, all right, we'll go inside. Okay.
Yeah, he just tries to walk
maybe I'll
inside.
have an apple or a tea, and slam. Oh, she closes the door on him. And this is a face I've made so many times in my life. When I finally worked up enough courage to talk to women after I lost my virginity. So look, oh boy, oh fuck, this is a face men make when they realize that the only thing that can't turn them down is their own hand. I'm gonna go home drunk and fucking probably sleep on some Taco Bell wrappers. Yep. That was my 20s.
Yeah, it was a nice juxtaposition between the depressing funeral and a lighthearted moment almost immediately afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it kind of rebounded the mood.
They didn't want to drag us down completely. Come on.
It's not like we're living in a land of perpetual rain, mud, and death.
Yeah. And caked on face makeup all the time. This is an upbeat show, as we'll find out later in this episode. And so back to the funeral. So poor Helga, she's having a bad day. That sucks. My life. He might even been, I think, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. There he is. And Lorna Bowe goes looking for him down at the docks there. We're back to, and there she is. And they have a little bit of a conversation. Yeah,
she's trying to show some compassion for him, basically saying, at least you have a heart. You came to the funeral. I don't believe you did it. No one believes you did it. And he basically turns around and says, I very well may have.
He's like, how do you know? Maybe
he's like, if I don't know if I did it, how can you possibly know if I did it?
He's almost like an extreme rationalist in a way.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's got this deep kind of spiritual grounded world to this tribal spirituality, but he's very like, I don't know if I didn't do it. I might have done it.
Yeah, and he kind of blows off him being there, saying something like, I'm just looking for a ship, watching what comes and goes.
Yeah. Okay, asshole. You weren't looking. If you're looking for a ship, walk a couple kilometers down the road and look for ships away from the children's funeral where you may have been the guy that did the murder. All right, you kook. So they load up Atticus. This guy's getting a lot of work out of this Keziah guy. Little odd jobs, and off he goes. God, look at that water. Ugh. You ever swim and seaweed touches you?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
I feel like you would have had a waterbed that had seaweed in it.
No.
Well, I was expecting that's what...
I do have seaweed stories, but...
Oh, good. Hit me. No, we'll save it for our other YouTube channel. Seaweed Story Professor.
It's the seaweed in the corpse story.
And you had a corpse in a seaweed story?
Yeah, it was all wrapped up in seaweed.
Why are you talking about sushi?
No, it was
Are you serious?
Appropriately for the scene, it was a dead child.
You saw...
No, I didn't. My dad did, though.
Oh, your dad was a fisherman in the East Coast.
He found
a dead kid in the seaweed?
Washed up on the beach. He said it was like all shiny and black. I think I've told the story before, but it was like on the beach and it looked... Basically, he said it was shiny and black, and he saw like a glint of white coming off of it somewhere, coming between the kelp and
the
seaweed.
Black part with the dark part
skull.
was the seaweed was...
The dark part was the decomposed flesh, and the bright part was the skull poking through.
Oh, fuck. That's horrifying.
Yep. Just another day at the beach.
Oh, man. I just lost my erection. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Your boy Robert's... Okay, so, so she's giving a little update. They have...
Yeah, he just kind of walks away.
Yeah.
And then she sees the little boy.
If she wanted him to feel better, she should have brought a hard-boiled egg. They could have had a nice little moment.
He does like his eggs.
Yeah, I like both of their eggs. And there's the poor little kid spinning around. I think, look, you ever do the spin thing? I think that's a version of getting drunk. You get all fucked up for about 5 minutes.
Probably find a place that's not, in the mud to do it.
Wrong. Mud is a soft cushion to land on. What, are you supposed to go do it on the concrete?
Do you think, British children always go out and, make mud angels?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think you've ever seen dirt? It's just, always raining there.
It's always wet.
Is mud.
Yeah. What is this dry mud? Do you have a word for it? Yes, I do believe they do mud angels. I think that that's where British people come from, like the scene in Lord of the Rings when the Uruk-hai
emerge from a muddy wall.
They're born from the depths of from weird placentas that are buried deep underground, and they looks like fire in the sky.
Not offensive at all.
I like British people. Why don't you leave them alone?
No,
I know.
They have the power of making anything sound intelligent with the magic of an accent.
I'm genetic. I'm like, my last name is British. I'm 20%, I think, British. I don't know. One of my grandpas was an asshole, so I don't
My
really
family comes from England.
Really?
Yeah.
See, we're all British over here.
Lost all the refinement and intelligence that came with it.
Yeah, well, that's why our ancestors escaped.
Yeah.
Get to so we could have some dry mud. Okay, we're getting distracted. Sorry. Look at her. There she is. She's like, oh, fuck. There's that little kid. So she runs up to him. He's doing that little spin around. You get dizzy. That's kind of fun.
I'm actually trying to drill down into the mud.
James, quit making me laugh. That's hilarious. He just disappears in a little like Slurpee pop. And then he's gone. The kid spinning around thing, that's like, I think there's a human, we enjoy screwing up our consciousness a little bit. That's
and then when you get older, you have booze.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like booze, pot, drugs, things, roller coasters, sex, spinning around in a circle, sushi, wasabi, horseradish, shit that makes you go, whoa! Because if you don't do that every once in a while, you get kind of bored. Mm-hmm. There's no morality to it. I just think I think it's human nature, you know? Hey,
sure.
Okay, so she sees him. I think she's got a little soft spot in her soft. Oh, down he goes.
She used her mind powers to fell him.
Well, you missed. She zapped him. Zing. Ow!
She used the force.
She clobbered him with one of these big old logs.
Through a clob of mud.
So.
Ew! I hit him.
Ew! Ew, let me help you. So she runs over.
No, but she's kind of being a motherly figure.
Yeah,
she wants to go over there and apologize, saying, I know that Winter was your friend. I'm sorry. Did you know her?
Yeah.
And the kid just kind of freaks out and runs off.
Yeah, his reaction is he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta go. And so whoop, she's off. She goes, no, oh my God, I want to talk to you. So she kind of runs after, but it doesn't go real far. He's better. He's wearing his mud shoes, and she doesn't have, snowshoes or something. That wasn't funny at all. What a horrible ending. Okay, so back to the water. Atticus is... Oh, yeah, he brings Helga with. And
yeah, so they're going to put a rock on her chest or somewhere on her to sink her.
I think it's tied to her, like, I think she's wrapped up in a blanket.
Yeah, but Helga's worried that that's not going to be sufficient to keep her down at the bottom of the sink or the drink, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, first they do this little exchange about James, though, because they're both there. Everybody's like, man... Our boss is a fucking killer. What the hell?
I mean, Atticus is afraid of him too, but even he is saying, you know what, there's no way to say that he did it.
Yeah.
But even Atticus in the back of his mind has to know that James Delaney is a dangerous man who is unpredictable, that perhaps maybe he did do it.
Yeah.
He's taking up for him as a friend and because that's his boss.
Totally. Yes, and she's in her grief, so I don't blame her for blaming him, and, people aren't, I get it. So there's a rope, I think that's what that's...
Now, how did their fingers get that way?
She voted in Iraq.
She just got back from the police station.
That's those purple finger jokes in 2006 or something. I don't know. Maybe there's...
Is that like a sign of mourning? Was she like dipping her fingers in ink, or...
I would imagine some sort of, painting, putting your fingers in ink and then rubbing the ink on maybe on Winter or maybe on herself or the kids.
I mean, it's got to mean something. They wouldn't show it if it didn't mean something.
Yeah, it seems, and it doesn't look like dirt. It looks like a stain.
Like ash or...
Yeah, maybe it's ash.
Charcoal or something.
It's a real gritty show. Like, the show really gets into the textures of that kind of stuff.
Or maybe she just was taking a bath and she ran out of soap right there.
Yeah. Yeah, she was covered in this because she had gone to the soot factory and ran out of soap right here.
Right there.
Okay, so
anyway,
let's keep going.
At this point, she says, I'm worried that the body's not going to stay down there with a simple rock alone. And Atticus is basically like, I'm kind of an assassin. I kind of make people disappear. I've done this more than once. Trust me, if I want someone to stay down there, they're going to stay down there. You're in good hands.
Yeah. Which I actually agree with Helga. I'd have been like a lava rock.
And then you start to see unhinging Winter's jaw and shoving the rock down her throat.
Oh boy, James.
Would have been no. And then she says something that's kind of poetic. She says, "The river will only take her body. I will keep her soul."
Yeah, that's right.
And then she rips the souls of Winter's shoes off.
Yeah. I'm all about being just tossed out in a river or in a creek or in the woods. Let the raccoons eat my face. I don't care. Like, I'd rather be like part of another animal's life. I'd rather be returned to the ecosystem than locked in some box and filled with formaldehyde in case they gotta look me up to solve a mystery. I don't want my bones just sitting around. Just fuck that shit. Just put me back in the ground. I'm a piece of shit anyway. I mean that in we're all just borrowing carbon from the earth while we have the accident of life coursing through our veins and our nervous system. Might as well just go back and become tree food. Fuck yeah, nailed it.
Motivational speech.
Yeah, that's I'm quoting that speech I give to high school teens.
Yeah.
I suppose those high school adults.
Matters.
No,
Here's some heroin.
No. Value your temporary existence, and therefore everything matters. But also don't get too big a head on yourself, you dumbass. You're just tree food in the end. Or you used. Okay, whatever. Let's keep going. Okay, so he's getting drunk because what else? What other options does he have?
Okay, this is the part where I need to boast a little bit.
Boast.
Ghost Winter.
Wait, where? What? Do we see a thing?
Yes, winter comes as a ghost.
What are you talking about?
I predicted this. Can I sleep under your house tonight? Ghost Winter.
Oh,
talking
that's
to
Ghost
him.
Winter.
No,
Oh.
go away. I'm not fit to be near you now. The same thing he said to her right before he allegedly passed out and killed her.
Yeah, Ghost Winter. He's reliving the memory in his drunken stupor.
No. He says, you're among them now, the ones who used to sing to me, talking about the spirits.
Okay.
Ghost Winter.
Oh, she became a ghost?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, because we got this. Remember, we saw the dad, the ghost dad.
Ghost Dad, Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby show. It was a Bill Cosby DVD.
Yep.
But yeah, okay. I'm not going to argue that.
And it's not a flashback because he directly asks her, "Did I kill you, or did I do this to you?"
Yeah.
And then she vanishes before he can get an answer.
So I must have missed a screenshot, unless that's something. Yeah, but he's certainly looking at something and kind of communing with it. Okay, she's a ghost now. Congratulations.
It just means I'm psychic. That's all. I'm gonna go solve crimes now.
I don't. Good luck. Yeah, why don't you open up what do they call those telescopes?
No, you ever see like psychic detectives?
Telepath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how you find a body as a psychic?
No.
You say, "I see the body near water and trees, and there's a sign."
Yeah.
And that describes practically every place on Earth.
It's cloud. No. Sunny. No. Cloud. It's partially cloudy.
The body is definitely on Earth.
The temperature is between -40 and 120 Fahrenheit.
And then when they eventually do find the body or don't find the body, you can say, "I was right."
Yeah. The invoice will be on paper. Okay, let's keep going. James, we're going to push here. Ones who used to sing to me. Yeah, all right. Ghost Winter.
Okay. Then all of a sudden, when she disappears, the door starts a-knocking.
Yeah.
But Brace does not want to get out of bed to go get it.
Brace is he's finally reached his limit. He's a little cooked nowadays.
It's sort of like Trump saying, "I'm not going to the correspondent dinner. Don't wake me up."
Yeah. No,
I would want to go either. I can't fault him for that.
Fuck that. Let's not talk about Trump. What? Okay. Brace is having a nervous breakdown.
I don't like dinners is the thing.
James doesn't like food. James would eat a... Okay.
So
Brace is having a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, he's distressed about something.
Nervous breakdown.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's bracing for impact.
Yes, he is. He's wearing braces.
Yeah, that's why he won't open his mouth.
Because he wants to go to prom. And so, but he's not doing his work. Okay, he's over. He's just like, he's overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
He can't handle it anymore. He's fucking tired of this shit. He's stressed out. So who is it at the door?
Worcestershire.
Worcester. It's Chichester, which James cannot pronounce.
I don't know. Is it
Say it.
Chichester?
Oh, you did it.
It's hard for me. Something about that. I don't know.
Chichester. Just pause a little. You don't have to say it quickly. Chichester is there, and he comes in. This is a important part. I mean, he's looking into the sinking of the Cornwallis.
Yeah. Oh, the Influence, as it was renamed.
AKA the Influence.
And I thought the scene was really kind of funny because James Delaney is distressed as well, and he's obviously inebriated.
Yeah, he's shit-faced.
And eventually Chichester realizes that, yeah, he's inebriated. Perhaps I should come back at a time when you're more fit. And he's like, "No, don't bother. I'm always like this."
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't trust people that don't drink and fuck whores. That according to that dialogue.
Yeah,
there.
the funny thing is James asks him flat out, "Are you a spirit?"
Yeah,
because he doesn't know what's real or not because he just talked to Winter.
It's just like, wait a minute, am I still? Oh yeah, okay, all right. You're like a lawyer guy, you're an investigator. All right.
So this scene goes kind of well. They kind of have a good rapport.
Yeah.
But Chichester gets down to business and says that, "Okay, I believe you were on board the Cornwallis when it sank."
Right.
And he even said you were probably one of the crew members that nailed the door shut with a nail just like this.
That was a huge reveal to me because I never put it together that he it turns out Delaney was
a crew member.
Yeah, like he nailed the cabin shut and killing. He doomed all those people to death.
Do you remember a very long time ago in the very first episode right before he goes to see the body of his father who was laid out in that room, that he went back and had a flashback where he was almost resurrecting people from the dead.
Yeah,
who were laid out, and there was like that one guy who was soaking wet was like a giant of a man.
Yeah, it was like looking at it was real intense.
Has that come to we haven't seen that?
I'm guessing I read that. I think maybe I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I read that as these were people close to him, but in fact he felt guilty
because I thought he was a slave and he was in there. That he was one of the crew members.
Which is him being white would mean it's a harder leap. I mean, we're talking about this time period where they wouldn't have been like a white guy also a slave because they were fucking horrible to everybody. But I mean, but at the same time, you can see it in some sort of thing where he was associated with them, so they just threw him in there too. But it turns out he was crew, and he was actually the guy that put the nail in, and
But here's the thing, maybe I got this one wrong as well, but I doubt myself on this one a lot, but I could have sworn I heard Chichester say that James was a slave and then a slaver, and then he stole diamonds from another slaver. So that he started as a slave, then he became a crew member on a slave ship, and then he betrayed another slaver to get those 14 diamonds we've seen him parading around with.
Did go, well, let's see what we have in the screenshots. It has been, there's the flashback to hammering the nail. That's kind of traumatizing because there are people under there. That's horrible. That might have been it. He's reliving the experience a little bit. I'm aware you were following orders. No, I haven't. He's not like, what?
Yeah. He's not cooperating fully with him at this point.
Yeah, this is him being sassy, I guess. Yeah.
He does show different sides of himself in this episode, and we'll see more of that later, especially when he interacts with Robert, which is bizarre, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. There's him saying, maybe I should come back.
And he says, there's no use. I'm always like this.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Yeah, like that's me on Mexican food. You know, like, no, I'm having tacos for breakfast. Why don't you back off? They get into it. Here you go, James. That's it. You traveled to Volta as a slave, then began to deal slaves. You stole diamonds from a fellow slaver.
Do you think he got that? And then returned to London. That Nuka sound bird thing imprinted on his back when he was a slave?
Branded on his
Branded.
Yes. I don't know. There's a lot of to that symbol, but they haven't
even know what it meant.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Remember he saw it on we went into his mother's room, saw it on the fireplace, and pointed out, goes, what does this mean? Trying to get an answer out of Brace.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I mean, no, I don't remember, but I believe you. Fair enough. So anyway, Chichester says, you are only surviving member of the crew of the Cornwallis, and this is where he tells him he needs to he's trying to take down the East India.
I think James says during the scene, I've done worse things than stealing diamonds.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Remember in the past episode when they mentioned Jumba Bay, Antigua?
Yep.
And right Strange kind of stopped still on his tracks, stopped riding, got really silent.
Yeah.
The whole thing was the slaves that they were sending over there illegally, he was sending them to his brother to work on the sugar plantation over there.
Yeah.
So this guy even knows that. He's got everything on him.
He's really putting his story together. But he needs witnesses to corroborate what he is certain is true. Owned by his brother. There you go. The Royal Commission will offer you a full pardon for your crime. For crime it is. And then I have an alternate suggestion. So he's always got some other plan cooking up here. Anyway, then we cut to a bunch of he's writing little letters for everybody.
Yeah. And
great handwriting, man. Yeah. My handwriting just doesn't look like a font.
Do you think they used a ruler for that line? Because that is pretty straight.
No, I think they got a steady hand back then, James. These people worked with their hands a lot more. Their arm muscles were a lot more stable than you and me, us typists. So, we're not, James and I aren't typists. We're saying we're just computer monkeys all day long. So, there he goes, down the stairs, or I don't know what that is.
So this is Robert coming up to bring food to James.
Right.
And this is the weird scene I was talking about.
Okay.
So he comes up there, and every single interaction that James Delaney has had with Robert has always been an intimidating, murderous stare. Man of very few words, does nothing but imprint horror upon this poor child.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he says, I have a use for you, and then hands him a key. Mm-hmm. But when the kid reaches for the key, he starts playing keep away.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm playful, Delaney, today.
Yeah. I'm going to be a fucking annoying uncle.
I will treat you like a dog.
Yeah. He won't let him grab the key. It's kind
that is so uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's not as straightforward as you'd think as he normally is. Children love to be,
No, but he's the kind of guy who would just like lean over, rip the kid's ear off, and go, "Gotcha, yeah," and then start eating it.
What if he goes, "I got your nose," and he puts his thumb between his fingers, or he does that disappearing. That's my move.
Yeah.
My nephews love it.
So
at least they tell me that when I force them to.
Face paint all over himself.
Yeah. I don't think it's super out of character. I mean, it's a bit of humanity.
It's a tender moment, but coming from him out of the blue with no build up to it, it's just weird.
Yeah,
and the poor kid's got to be freaked out by this too.
Yeah, it's his first time bringing him food. It's not like he's gotten to know him after like 6 or 7 times. Like, hey, let's have a little fun with the key. This was their Nintendo, though. They didn't really have much in the way of toys.
The key is for a safe. Do we know what's in the safe yet?
I don't know.
So he's basically putting these pieces in place for a purpose that we don't yet know. And throughout the episode, we're going to hear him say that same line to a couple other people. I have a use for you.
Yeah.
And we don't know quite how that's going to play out. I'm guessing it's going to all come to fruition in the finale.
It probably will. And he's got the maps, the globe. He's got stuff all over here. There's 2 globes, huh? That's pretty fun.
Yeah. And this episode has ruined me, too.
3.
3.
4, I guess. Lots of circles. I'm getting so distracted.
Because everywhere I go, I need to wash my hands. I'll see the sink. I have a use for you.
Yeah, the use for you thing is interesting. I'm gonna start doing that before I order food from a waiter or something. I have a use for you. Bring me food and I will give you money in a timely manner. If this map up here, it looks like a pelican and a dragon are looking at a whale's gonads.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
He printed that from MapQuest.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who uses Waze? I use MapQuest from 2004. So off they go. I like this guy.
Wrestler.
Yeah, he's got that wrestler walk. Out comes the Tommy the Top Hat. He has a use for you. This guy here carrying some food, aka ducks. All right, there they go. Gunshot, and then his hat got blown off. I wish I got the moment of impact, but. Pew! Ow! The hat goes flying. What if this guy dropped the duck guy? Just drops dead. Oh my! His last words are, "I was so hungry for ducks." People screaming.
Someone shoots at him and someone yells, "Duck!"
Yeah,
and he's like,
duck.
"I know he's got ducks."
Goose. Duck, duck, goose.
He doesn't even flinch or anything though. It just happens.
Yeah,
he's just
he acts like if I don't know, like a poop fell out of your mailbox.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's
that is terrifying.
Good makeup. That's pretty scary.
And she's yelling, "Murderer!"
Yeah, she's not. She blames him for killing her daughter, and I understand it. And then she shoots again.
Yeah, and he doesn't even move again. He just stands his ground, and it hits the mud next to his foot. I think
it's almost like he's just sort of has this kind of. He's resolved to be the party to whatever destiny is going on.
Yeah, it's almost
like he doesn't seem to take anything. Everything happens in stride, even though. In most situations, people would freak the fuck out. Like if my top hat got shot off, I would run right away, really fast to the nearest top hat store to get a new one.
How funny would it be to see him turn around and just run though?
Yeah, woo! Oh shit!
Slips in the mud, falls in his face.
Before he does so, he looks at his feet and goes, "I have a use for you," and he starts running really hard.
But yeah, I mean, it's almost as though, like you said, the whole destiny thing. It's like he doesn't know whether he did the crime or not. No one else knows whether he did it or not. So he's basically saying, what happens, happens. If I die, perhaps I deserve it.
I guess that, I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's ultimate being in the moment, being present, I guess. It's like, oh, look, a bullet at my head and a bullet at my feet. No big deal. But he doesn't push his luck here anyway. He picks up his hat, and he leaves.
Yeah, because he was clearly heading that direction for a purpose, and now he's changing his route.
Yeah. So he adapts. He doesn't continue on his way, but yeah, he heads off, and man, it sucks. And so Zilpha is having a bath in her big copper tub. It looks like a pretty nice little thing. She's being watched over by this weird little bust of a little kid head or something.
Ghost Geary is in the corner.
Is there? What?
No, Ghost Thorn.
Yeah.
He's dead now. She lives alone.
She's a widow now.
So she's looking for a roommate in Craigslist.
Good. Well, it's the only place to find roommates these days. And okay, well that was that. Oh wait, she gets up. She goes. She's doing her thing, and she sees trouble in paradise. I wouldn't call this paradise, but the boat's all fucked. I like that they haven't moved it yet, but I guess what are you gonna do? Bring in a barge or something? Yeah. You're gonna have to slowly chop it apart, probably.
So she's going to the Delaney shipping offices.
Yeah.
To see James.
To see him, and she comes in, and he is not real happy. He's not a real friendly fellow to her. He kind of gives her a little brushes her off and tells her to get out of here. He goes, it's just me and my painting of Thomas Jefferson. Why don't you get the hell out of here?
He says, I believed once that we were the same person. And she says, we are. And he counters with, we are not. Not anymore.
Right.
So essentially, after everything that's happened, he has done everything in his power to push her away from her husband towards him to the point that she commits murder on her husband, even though he deserved it. I mean, he kind of,
Yeah, the guy was a piece of shit.
But then he bangs her once, or half bangs her, and then he's like, I have no use for you.
Yeah. But when you first came back, you told me you love me, but you don't think... Yeah, and so it really hurts her, though. She takes it pretty rough, as being rejected is hard. Believe that we were the same person, and there you go. That's all that. And she goes, oh, man, look, here it is. And, oh, no. And I think he's protecting her, though. I think this is his way of, like, the closer she is to him, the more dangerous she is.
Kind of funny. I have right after that line I wrote in my notes, is he protecting her?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. He has no reason to have turned on her and declared her some sort of enemy or non-useful person. He definitely wouldn't want to see her be harmed anymore. So I think it's protecting her, but he does it in his own blunt, clumsy, but effective way.
And then he makes it all better by giving her a diamond and says, for your widowhood.
Yeah, right there. See it? And buy me some nail clippers, because this shit's getting gross.
And then she starts crying. It's like, I thought women loved diamonds.
James, you gotta watch more commercials, okay?
This is like a reverse Zales commercial.
Every breakup begins with K.
Wouldn't it be great if you could like solve all your problems just by screwing up and then just handing someone a diamond?
Yeah, like dump your girlfriend and just be like, here's a diamond.
Yeah, with my budget, it'd be Hershey Kisses. But,
well, you know what? You can wrap anything. You can wrap anything in foil.
Don't eat it all in one place.
Don't eat the paper. It hurts on the way out. I mean the foil. One time I had a dog and I came in the kitchen and he had his front legs splayed out and it was all sick looking, and he looked up at me and then he barfed up a whole big puddle. It looked like egg yolk, but it was filled with all these red and green and silver wrappers. Foil.
Oh, Hershey Kisses.
He had eaten an entire bag of Hershey Kisses. He was a big yellow lab. Chocolate's bad for dog. A smaller dog
by
might
itself,
have died.
but the wrappers.
Also, there's not a lot of real cocoa in that shit. It's mostly sugar and milk or whatever the fuck. So he was fine, but I caught the moment though, and it was very unusual for that dog to be in a room by himself. He liked to follow people around. So the fact that he was just standing there,
I thought he was standing there or laying there.
He was standing up with his front arms like wide open, like splayed apart, and he's like, and his head was swaying around. I was like, oh boy, something's fucked up right now. Anyway, I got more stories about that dog. It was a funny one. He was a big dumb idiot, just like me. So there he goes. I have work to do, so please go. So she's hurting.
Yeah, so she's a bit crushed.
Yeah, why not? Speaking of crying.
All right, so
water dripping.
This is a big reveal.
Okay.
Because we don't know where the unstable powder went. We know they moved it from the factory to this place, and we've seen him in this place before, sitting back, flicking his lighter in desperation when he got, he was in times of trying need. But looking at the outside right here, it now reveals to us that it's at the insane asylum, Bethlehem. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say Bedlam this time. Bethlehem.
I won't judge.
So this is where his mother was held captive. Yeah,
and he's using it as a storage for explosive powders. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no fires within these walls. That's a good rule. There's Atticus. It's sort of a little gang hideout. Pretty good location.
A very elegant line from him.
What? Where? What was so urgent I had to dismount from a porky? Oh my god! What was so urgent I had to dismount from a porky little Chinese? That's my British. That's my street tough British.
That could be like a video game voice.
I should be a voice actor. I'm telling you, man. I got control over this register. So there he goes. And my lips. This is where they kept my mother, and so yeah, that's what his mother.
Yeah. So Atticus gives him some sage advice in this scene. He's like, you know what? Well, like James starts with the lioness will fiercely protect her cubs regardless of the consequences, and Atticus is a smart guy. He knows he's talking about Helga.
Yeah.
So he basically warns James. He goes, Helga knows too much. She hates you. She's going to betray you, and she's going to betray everybody. Yeah. But James said, yeah, it's inevitable, but, don't harm her. She is harmed enough already. Right. And Atticus says, she'll go to the company, though, and that's when James says, yes, it is inevitable. So he knows that crap is going to hit the fan. He knows events are going to play out badly, but he refuses to resort to violence to prevent an inevitably bad outcome.
Yes, like an evil person already deep in a bad criminal caper. Like, have you ever seen the movie A Simple Plan?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Bill Paxton just died.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
I like that guy.
He was great. Everybody, I didn't realize how many films he was in. It's insane. Never, always nailed it.
Yeah.
In Weird Science, he was in my all-time favorite character, Chet, the mean older brother. No, that's a joke. But the Simple Plan, like they think they have they're getting away with it, and then just have to resort to increasingly more crazy, reckless things to salvage this crime that they not accidentally, but that it got out of control for them. So like killing Helga would seem like the rational, quote unquote, move to protect themselves, but he won't do it, like you just said.
But also on dueling NPC Island, killing Thorn Geary when it's legal for him to do so in front of everyone, when it's basically condoned by the process, would be the rational thing to do.
Yeah.
Not to leave his sister to have to do it in a fit of desperation, but he doesn't.
And
then he digs the guy's grave out of respect.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's sort of like he's a savage, he's brutal, he's powerful, he's dangerous, but he's also a gentleman.
Yeah. He's kind of got a sense of honor, and kind of like me. That's why I would say we're both like the ultimate bad boy. Thank you for agreeing. Gunpowder and water don't mix. Okay, that's also true. So off they go. But yeah, you're right. He said don't hurt her. But and we'll see more about what Helga gets up to later on.
Another hilarious moment. Lorna, Brace will not come out of his room. Yeah. Brace does all the cooking, and since he won't come out and he's moping in his bed, Lorna is trying to pluck a chicken.
Yeah, Brace has turned into a surly teen, and and so Lorna has got to get dinner prepared. So she's just messing around with the meat and the stuff. She's got the kid to keep her company. They're both in there working. Boy, but that hat stinks. You ever smell a hat? Ugh, God, 18th century hats. Where's Brace? He's either mad or sick, and either I think they mean crazy, right? Like mad, not angry, or drunk. That's always a possibility in this world. And so he goes up to check on Brace. It was really funny to see Lorna trying to fuss with the stuff that he hasn't moved. That's how I sleep too, by the way. I just stare and I vibrate slowly. He does get up and he puts on his clothes and they have a little bit of a conversation.
I think he already had his clothes on.
Well, I mean, like, you're right. I meant that as getting out of bed. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, look at that. He was already dressed. I don't know why I said putting on his clothes. But he's all worked up, though. Go ahead. Do you remember what this was about?
Yeah, James opens up with a line saying, "Tell me about the rats."
Yeah.
And the scary thing about James Delaney is when he says something like that, you know he's already got a narrative in his mind. He already knows what he's going to accuse you of.
Yeah.
So essentially what happens is, for some reason, I don't think we got to see this happen, but James, maybe he communed with his father, but he found out that Brace ordered a whole lot of arsenic to take care of rats. The house still has rats, so he puts two and two together and concludes that Brace was the one who poisoned his father and led to his inevitable death.
Yes.
Horace Delaney was killed by his trusted confidant and servant, Brace.
Old Brace, totally. And
that's the horrible secret that's been weighing down on his shoulder the entire season.
Yeah, and there's more about this later. So he kind of reveals his motivation. I don't recall if he does it quite at this. Yeah, he basically says he was burning his. He was like, it was a mercy killing.
Yeah, he says
he thought he was doing the right thing.
He said, I poisoned him to save him from himself. I put an end to his pain, and then he yells, "You came back too late for both of us."
Right.
And at this point, he is expecting James to stand up and kill him. He's expecting that this is going to be the end of him.
Yeah. Which is what you should do when a man murders your dad, is you murder that man.
Yeah.
It is written in the rules of savage justice. Or judge.
Strangely enough,
People's Court.
Instead of being angry and being violent and having a murderous intent back to him, he just repeats, "You did him a kindness."
Yeah, you did him a kindness. You did him a kindness. So which kind of absolves him of it a little and says, "I understand."
Yeah, and then asks him to go downstairs. Yeah, you came back too late.
Meaning, like, you could have dealt with it instead of me. You left me to deal with this fucking maniac guy that I had to kill. So. You're one of oh, by the way.
Yeah, he says, like, Lorna is destroying the kitchen with a duck.
He does. He just moves on. It's, you know, he's just like, all right, well, we dealt with the thing where you killed my dad. Now go help that lady make a fucking duck.
The thing is he internalizing it to use it back against him later on, or is he truly past it? Because I don't think he had much love for his dad, because in the prior episodes we found out that he blamed his dad for the downfall and death of his mother by condemning her to an insane asylum because she didn't conform to the standards that he set. But now he knows the truth, that his father was trying to save him from his mother, who tried to drown him in the shore, in the river.
But his dad went off into some other direction with his own sort of madness or some sort of something went haywire, and therefore that's why he agrees that killing him was a kindness. So there was pain all around. There was trauma all over the place. But he's obviously got a complicated relationship with his parents.
Yeah, he doesn't seem particularly disturbed. It's almost as though he knew this from the beginning, and he's just now getting around to it.
Kinda, yeah. Seems like that.
Because he said it multiple times in past episodes, something like, you know a lot, but you say very little. Or like, you have secrets, but you won't say them. Yeah. Wow. So finally he, gets around to bringing out the elephant in the room.
Yeah, which is Brace's skinny little Bryan Cranston body. Yeah, so Miss Delaney is destroying the kitchen. Mrs. Delaney, he calls her. That is interesting. Is it interesting that he calls her Mrs. Delaney? Has he been doing that for a while?
Well, I mean, it's just true.
But they've been calling her Mrs. Bow.
Oh.
Because they have to acknowledge, I don't know if they accepted the validity of her claim on the marriage. I have not been
paying enough attention to that. It looks like this is kind of slipping.
Oh, that's right. Something's moving around there. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't been paying close enough attention to the nomenclature he uses for her. So
yeah, but they do call her Bow, Miss Bow, Lorna Bow.
And, most people do call her Miss Bow.
Yeah. So anyway, well, maybe somebody can clarify that in the comments if that's the first time someone's called her Mrs. Delaney. At least one of these two, or him. All right, so wait, Darth Vader theme song. Wave, everybody. So there he is, and it's Stuart. Your 10 is 20. When one, and so he's doing a little scheduling thing here, and he wants to get over and get his day done. And it's a woman, sir, a woman. I've never been privy to so much indignity of visiting a woman. No, I don't know if that's what they said, but it's Helga and Helga's friend. Pearl. Thank you. I like that name. That's a cute name. So they stand in the middle of the U. Yep. I don't know something funny about that. There's Godfrey over there.
It's almost like they all are on a chessboard, literally.
Yeah, it is kind of like that black and white. I like that floor pattern. That's pretty cool. So now they learned that basically she's giving them up.
This is exactly we don't need to really get into all the details. Said was going to happen. Yeah. So essentially, they say that they confess that they were a party to the theft of the powder. That he paid them in gold and silver for their services, that James is going to give it to the Americans or has already given it to the Americans. And at this point, Strange basically tells Godfrey, stop recording meeting notes. We're going to say some stuff that needs to be off the record. Yeah. And he is happy as a pig in mud.
Who's he?
Strange.
Oh, Strange.
Godfrey is horrified.
Yeah, Godfrey's... He's because he's got the secret. He's got his.
He's already got the line in his head. He's like, "Oh, you're betrayed." Yeah, that's the only thing he can say.
I must hurry and save him.
And he makes it so obvious, running full blast down the street after any time like this happens. It's like, could you possibly be less subtle about it?
Do a rushed walk, not a panicky run.
He's like, "Oh, please excuse me, sir. I must open the window. You are betrayed.
You have been betrayed, my love." Or just like bumping into strangers and be like, "Sir Stuart Strange is going to," like he's just yelling about him. We have two witnesses willing to testify. Delaney gave gunpowder within the confines, compassion of death. So that was the plot. They're saying is he was going to use the gunpowder to kill the king.
Well, that's how they're going to spin it.
Yeah, because that's what the whole thing.
Because they want to nail him for treason. Because if they nail him for treason, they have him basically. Because they can. We'll get to it a little bit later, but if you're accused of treason, then you are considered corrupted by law, and anything that you hold in terms of property or possessions becomes property of the crown.
Yeah, you're fucked if you're treason. I mean, that's one of the big ones.
But that presents a problem for them.
Yeah, and this guy's like, hurrah, my eyelids are turning even more pink. The bottom eyelid. Do they call that an eyelid?
I don't know.
Anyway, who knows? Yeah, probably.
But this is the moment they've been waiting for, as evidenced by that line.
Yeah. We fucking have him. And she goes, I would like a new tooth. Mine is made out of rock. Teeth are fucking crazy. We got these weird knobby bone things sticking out of our mouth that we use to. It's guarded by a tongue. We have Delaney. We have Nuka. So they're thrilled. This is the big thing. Opium, tea, and powder. So they got everything. So they're all going to make a lot more money. They solved a big problem.
So then Helga and Pearl are like, okay, great. We've said our piece. Now we're just going to go.
Yeah,
he's like, oh no.
We got an afternoon shift at the whorehouse. We got to go. There will be due process, and you will be held until this is all resolved because we can't risk you being in danger.
Yeah.
Or being taken off.
And do you believe him when he says that once your testimony is done, you'll be pardoned? I don't quite believe that.
No.
I think they'll hang them for treason as well.
If there's one thing that's been proven throughout history, it's that the rich boss CEO type fuck faces of the world, the industrialists, they will use people and discard them as quick as they can make a nickel off of it. Yeah, he's not literally everybody, but it's a common theme throughout the world.
His motivations are not justice for her in the end, it's getting what he wants.
Yes. Totally. And using, yeah, so they're... Hop, 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 hop. So do it with me, James. Ready? Hop, 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 hop. Yeah, nailed it. So off he goes.
You're
betrayed! I must avoid slipping on poop! What if he kicked that dog accidentally? Look at that little dog.
He yells at the dog, you're betrayed by my foot!
My foot. Then the dog barks and they put subtitles of the dog. Fuck you! Ooh, he jumps up. He's off he goes.
At this point, I wrote, Godfrey running straight to James. What a moron. How does nobody follow him or notice him?
Yeah, like, these are all his witnesses.
I mean,
everybody,
look at this.
Like, yeah, you know.
He leads straight to him. He doesn't even, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I guess maybe those
to his house.
Maybe
he cannot be seen at James Delaney's house. He's the scribe for the East India Company.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, but, you know, this wasn't the time of cell phones where everybody was filming everything they saw. I mean, maybe this was... And maybe people went running around freaking out constantly back then. Everybody was under stress. Yeah. Every human has just been under horrible stress since we started living in buildings. You know what I mean?
I'm more stressed when I go outside.
Well, I just mean like isolated from each other is more what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there he goes. Gotta help him, and hey man, shit's fucked up. So, but does he get to him or not?
No, he's looking through James's window and sees that James is remodeled. Yeah. So if you go to the next screen, that's what it looks like now.
Yeah, that's the new shot. Yeah. Oh boy, he spent his last diamond. No, but I don't recall. They're not home.
The thing is, James is not home.
Yeah, they're not home. Yeah, so but he's. You know, he's invested in the James side of the story. His loyalties are fully on that, as we've seen before too. So okay, this is the British fancy house.
Prinny's palace.
Yeah, this is how you know that the rich people. Prinny. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Look at like fruit column there things.
Yeah, this is opulence to the.
I would like try to take one off there, but I'd spill it and they'd all go tumbling apart like the avocados at the grocery store sometimes. This is the prince's house. You must be okay. And he goes, Stuart Strange says, I cannot lay a hand on him, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So this is Coop visiting with Strange at Prinny's. This is the first time Strange actually shows up at Prinny's palace.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's a name for this building that's not Prinny's palace, the Palace of Prinny, but I kind of like that.
What do they call it?
I don't know.
Yeah, Prinny's palace sounds like somewhere Zelda would get a mix.
Yeah. It's got a good alliteration to it. Is that the word?
Yeah, alliteration is the right word, not onomatopoeia.
No.
Yeah, that's when horses go whinny.
Yes. And then they poo.
Yeah, and that sounds like plop.
Yeah.
So yeah, now here he is off in the woods. Wow, look at this cool tree stuff.
But essentially what happens is Coop talks to Strange, and Strange says, I have good news for you. Good news for British patriots everywhere.
Yeah.
So what he's essentially going to do is he's going to say, I hold in my hand the card that you've been looking for, something that will give Nootka Sound to you, but I'm not going to play that card unless you agree to give me exclusive trading route, the same exclusive tea trade that Delaney himself wanted. I want that for the East India Company, and if you don't give that to me, then I will not pull this card that will give you Nootka Sound.
And the Patriot angle is they're defending the king from an attacker, which is a lie, that's not true, but they're hiding behind the flag, so to speak. Right. It's weird how really rich people love to talk about patriotism when they benefit tremendously from doing so.
Because the East India and the Crown are mortal enemies. They do not like each other, but when they can mutually gain from something, they'll suddenly be buddy-buddy.
Yes, for sure. Totally. And then we got, now back onto the fire. Some leaves are burning, and he's doing a little thing with some feathers. And I love this stump. I feel like they're like a magic, Kate Blanchett would like stand on it and yell at her elf friends about not keeping the plates clean. It's cool sunlight, sun rays. Those are kind of neat. He's brushing his hair with a feather and some smoke, doing a little thing. Yeah. This is my kind of religion, James, because this shit you can do in private, or at least at the park down, by the school.
Yep. And then you see your mother in the pool.
Yeah,
which is coming up right about.
My mom's holding Kool-Aid. Now. Wait, what? That? Oh,
so he sees Salish in the water. His mother.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of stuff here. There she is. Yeah, she's standing there, like a lot of this half waist high dirty water stuff. I love the horse. This is something looks like something out of a Tom Cruise movie from the 80s. Which is the one where he played like the little elf kid. Legend. Yeah, it was. I don't know what I'm saying. So there's a judging them. Wow, those are thick ass braids, huh?
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. I can't remember the person that commented saying that he believes that the actress that portrays Salish is a certain person.
Is Zilpha?
No.
Oh.
It's someone else that he thinks, and I googled it, and it's one of the most leading theories in the lore of the show, but nowhere in the credits apparently is it confirmed who was playing her.
Who's the person?
Oh, I've never heard of her before, but she's apparently very commonly regarded as being the person to play her.
You mean like the actress?
An actual real-life actress.
Oh,
the name of the person who portrays her in the show.
I got you. I thought you meant like a character in this show.
Well, for whatever reason, the showrunners have yet to confirm who is actually playing her.
Oh, interesting. I bet you it is Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
So there's his dad.
Yep.
Oh, I was taking a pee. What are you doing? So that's kind of crazy. This little ghosty dad thing, and yeah, there he is in the water.
He's in the water. Yep.
Doing his thing, and then see, this is just some good old family photos with these people.
Yeah, it's a Sunny Delight commercial. Give it the sky.
There you go, everybody. Great teeth. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's.
I wish my
impressive.
teeth were that nice. I don't have my teeth are a little fucked up, man. That's pretty good looking there. I would take that. No gross little dark cavity things. You know those when people open their mouth and you see inside, and you're like, I didn't mean to look that deep inside you. I can barely handle your odor. Oh, Jesus.
Apparently he's doing his best God of War impersonation.
Yeah, good video. Good. Yeah, totally. God of War video game. Everybody look it up if you want to see what James is talking about. So there's, for some reason I'm thinking about Mark Hamill. I don't know why.
You missed it here, but I think one of the cool things is when I was watching this, I went frame by frame to see it. But there's screaming that breaks out at this scene, and his face is replaced by his father's face screaming.
Oh, just like all my dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, except there's usually a unicorn. So, okay, he's having a moment. He's really dealing with this whole past life thing.
Godfrey somehow finds him and delivers his.
And it's remarkably not out of breath because he just ran about 1,400 kilometers. I'm saying kilometers because these are British people.
I want a T-shirt with his face on it. It just says "You are betrayed."
You're betrayed. Where's this? I hope we have his.
Go back. Go back a couple. Back. Back.
Oh, right there. You're betrayed. Yeah, that's really funny. I have use for you.
Yes, not a use, but just use in general.
Use for you, yeah. So he's almost pathological, almost sociopathic about the way you talk to people. Like if I said to James, like, James, I have use for you, and you'd be like, what? And I'm like, hand me the remote.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing about him, though. That even though they betrayed him, and he knew they were going to betray him, he wants to protect Helga and Pearl. Yeah. So he says that you work on the inside. You clearly know where Helga and Pearl are being held. So you are going to tell me where they are. You're going to provide the address. And then I need to take you to someone else to see. And he rides off on a horse with them.
Yeah, there they go.
And can you imagine how much joy riding in the horse behind him would have given Godfrey?
Godfrey, probably a little. I don't know. Does he? Yeah, probably.
He has a thing for him.
He's got a crush on him. I got a crush on him, for God's sakes. I get it. He's handsome.
So he's going to make him part of his plot that we're going to see unfold more in the episode.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a big deal here. So this is him doing his power stance. He watched that TED Talk about it. Compassion, and he's just talking about the law. They're just going over some of their legal reasoning that they're going to be using for this whole thing.
And this establishes that Thoit is the only lawyer in all of London.
Yeah. Let's point out his fucking crazy necklace here. What is this? Is that a sheep or a Great Dane?
It looks like a dog just like hanging from the midsection.
Like if you just tied a rope around a dog's back and then just dangled it. That's fucked up. I think it's a sheep. I don't know. I feel like that's a sheep.
Or is it just a wig without a head?
The head is sheepish. He's sheepish. Maybe it is a wig. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure it means something, but I'm not aware of it.
Sure, there's got to be. It's a zipper. Oh, that's the zipper handle.
Yeah.
I mean, he's wearing a starter jacket.
Yeah, so the whole point of this is that Thoit is kind of educating everyone in the room, Coop and Prinny's people and EIC, East India Company, about the legalities surrounding the corruption charges against James.
Yeah.
So essentially what he says is that when one is corrupted, all assets will pass to the crown. All family members that are deemed corrupted are deemed corrupted by association, so all claims to land will be null and void, which implies that Lorna's, claim to Nuka Sound for 50% of that would also be void because she is by association corrupted by James.
Right.
And he says they have James. Well, no. Basically, they have James where he wants, and they'll be able to deliver Nuka Sound to the king. And he uses the women as bargaining chips. So essentially, this is what I was talking about before. He says, you know what? I have these two witnesses. I have these two women. They're in an undisclosed location. If you don't give me exclusive trading routes to from Nuka to Canton or Canton, then I am not going to tell you where they are, and perhaps no one will ever see them again. And you will not get what you want because you won't give me what I want.
Yeah. So you're going to have to give up. You scratch my back, I give you a couple of ladies that are going to turn in this guy that you're looking for. Yeah. So he's negotiating. I mean, they're playing their hand here.
And both sides will get what they want. The Crown will get Nuka Sound because they want it because that's going to basically give them the whole province of Vancouver, was it?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's...
And EIC gets what it wants because it gets the trading route, which is money.
Money. Little they know, though, the Americans have North America, and it's just an island, and we can go around it and trade with China all the fuck we want. And they're settling up the War of 1812. And they're negotiating borders and stuff since the war is winding down. So, and the Honorable, there was some sort of smirk here about the Honorable. He kind of like hit that note, didn't he?
And he says the line, "You got lucky with a..."
With a fucky ducky?
Yes.
Okay. Is that it? You got lucky with a horse, Stuart. Yes. Not my first time. And an element of strategy. He's just giving himself a bunch of pat on the back for that. Yes, we've really outsmarted them, haven't we? No, you haven't, you fucking lump-faced pieces of shit.
I'm gonna call them Wallace and Gromit from now on.
Wallace. That's good tea. Okay, I'm sorry.
Now,
everybody.
We know we're going to a Molly house soon.
I should delete that. That was embarrassing. Cholera. Look, they've got some there.
And how do you know you're going to a Molly house?
My favorite book is Love in the Time of Cholera ID.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, because they're all wearing those fucking weird faces and
that
the
person
wigs.
right there, basically.
Oh, yeah, that lady. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so off they go. Look,
he's giving charity to the poor.
They're in like soldier outfits though.
Yeah.
And they're wounded, it looks like. That's just like today where we don't take care of our veterans either.
But James Delaney does.
It's nice to see some traditions haven't changed. Yeah. But James Delaney does give him a little money. What do we just hand out diamonds? Like, whoa, fuck, that's pretty generous.
I have 3 of these.
This guy's like, wait, oh, dude.
I have no use for you.
Yeah. Okay, off they go. There they are, and this is the Molly house. That's very fancy decorated. It looked like my bedroom when I grew up. Not really. Chichester is there and waiting. He's looking at this one book. It's kind of an old porno mag.
Yeah, I was hoping you had a picture of this because
I got a picture of it.
To me, it looked like that. I mean, over here on this side of the book, if you can move it here, this is purely in focus. Yeah. But this section right here, where the salacious act is going on, yes, where the horrific act is occurring, is blurred out.
More like delicious act.
Okay,
wink.
But it seems like because it's on FX, right?
Yeah.
They can't show a whole lot of stuff.
Well, that's the rule with cunning linguists. Yes. Is the more accurate the drawing, you got to blur it out more.
Did they actually blur it out?
If this was Mickey Mouse eating out Minnie, it'd be like they wouldn't have to blur it.
But they did blur it, right?
Since it's a sort of an anatomically accurate drawing in a way, yeah, they blurred that right there. Yeah, that's not me blurring it. Yeah, this is all in focus, blurred out the part where he's munching. Someone's munching. Or I think it's a lady actually. I think we got 2 ladies.
If you buy it and download it and it's not airing on air, they wouldn't include the blur.
This was in the edit. I guarantee it. I don't know.
There should be 2 edits.
Well, James, I can apply a filter. De-blur the vagina eating, because it's so hard to find this on the internet.
Okay,
so nothing harder to come by online than lesbians having fun on a Sunday.
Anywho, what we
look, they got them all lined up here. They're making maybe they're just giving a little show. Look, some of them are facing one way, some of them are facing the other way.
So yeah, the last time we saw Godfrey and James, they were riding together on a horse, and
I could talk about that for hours.
I know that's what I'm doing.
Keep going.
It's like pulling the dog away from the mud puddle. It's like, no.
Don't smell the dead squirrel.
Don't roll in it. No.
Don't roll in the dead squirrel, Hank. Don't. All right.
So Mr. Chichester is already there.
Yes.
And this is the man that James was taking Godfrey to see.
Right, yeah.
Because...
Well, we know. Yeah, go ahead.
Essentially what James wants to do is to get Godfrey to agree to testify to Chichester.
Sorry.
What did you do?
Well, this is where I screwed up the first time I tried to watch it. So I've watched the second half of this whole thing twice, by the way.
So basically, he's been the scribe for the East India Company for 12 years, which means he has been in the room present during confidential conversations that were taken off the record in which he can directly corroborate stories saying that the East India Company top brass was involved in the sinking of the Influence, the Cornwallis.
Yeah.
So he's saying, you need to agree to this.
Yeah. Well,
and he's freaking out.
Yeah. He's turning on his company. He's turning in his company, I guess. Maybe not really, but yeah, this is a very difficult thing. I get why he'd be in so much distress over this decision. He's definitely, and the guy goes, this is this is Chichester speaking, you lead a very interesting life. And then he immediately is like, dude, if he's going to judge me because he's a religious guy, fuck that. He goes, no, he only judges those who judge. And I like Chichester, though.
He's probably the only, aside from James Delaney in certain respects, he's the only truly moral good person that we've seen in the show.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. God has no gin. Don't get fucked up, man. Come on. Need your head about you. He doesn't really listen. He takes a big swig. And then, so...
He thought he was talking about gin rummy.
Yeah. Royal Commission can't accept anonymous. So they're basically... Chichester's trying to convince him to do it. Explaining what he needs out of him, but also he's being cautious and gentle with his approach, though.
Yeah, but Godfrey won't do it.
Yeah.
So essentially, James has to take him into the back room and talk to him in private.
Well, he makes Chichester leave the room. He doesn't take him.
Oh, he doesn't take him?
Yeah,
okay,
He asks for some privacy.
Yeah, you've seen it twice. So
I've seen this part twice because I fucked up the first time. So they're, oh man, I'm stressing out. Which I get. Look, it's got a hexagon, right?
Yep.
I don't know why there's nothing. Even fucking James is drinking. Come on. No Godders. No gin Godders, because he wants it all for himself. So, just like when James tries to eat the salsa. You, James, not
no,
yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm betrayed.
He poops his pants. You have betrayed me, but I don't know what I mean, but that's not.
Also, I'd wear a T-shirt with his face and that on it.
Yeah, you have betrayed me, but
yes,
yeah, me too. Down at the poop ward. So yeah, he gets up. I like his face he makes. So he gives him like, all right, yeah. So this is where he asks him to leave, and he leaves. He goes out into the hallway, nods to a hooker.
What if you just put on Bose noise canceling headphones?
Yeah.
Like, on.
Yeah, drama canceling headphones. I could go for some of those. And all those. So he tells him here, like, so I'm going to leave. We're going to get out of here before it all goes down. Everybody who is used to me will be with me, and you're going to be fine. Don't you worry. All you have to do is pretend. Can you do that?
Yeah, but Godfrey initially says, yeah, you're going to give me passage on your new ship, but they're going to kill you. They're going to hang you. This is not going to protect me. You're not going to get away.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's like, no, dummy. Why do you think you're gonna? Yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, he says you only need to agree to testify because my ship is gonna sail long before you'll actually have to testify.
Right.
So all you have to do is make believe to Chichester.
Yes, and he buys it. Maybe the gin works.
Yeah, but he does a very poor.
Right.
He goes, I will scream it from something to something.
He will do the honorable thing, and he's like, really? Signed?
He'll write, sign, and appear.
Delivered? Get it, James? Signed, sealed, delivered? Let the good Lord be my witness. I will yell out the truth to the four winds. But he's girding, like, man, this guy's having a hard day. He's been stressed out for a long time.
Yeah.
Now he's finally putting his foot down and standing up. Like when you finally stand up to the bully, your voice cracks a little bit, but then you knee him in the fucking balls. That's what he's doing. I keep kicking something under the desk. I don't know what the hell. So they shake hands, and he's like, all right, well, that's good. And now these guys, they all got to pee, so they're in a hurry. They're running off.
So to the Molly House. Yeah. They just got off work, and their shift has ended. Yeah. And they need to get to the Molly House.
They need some ecstasy.
No, but apparently
some MDMA.
Unbeknownst to James Delaney, he is now accused of treason, and the soldiers are off to arrest him. And for some reason, I can't quite put my finger on it, though, they know that he is in the Molly House, perhaps because people saw him walking there and giving money to beggars along the way, making himself very conspicuous along the path.
Sure, yeah, he's a wanted guy. There's a word out. Maybe somebody spotted him or something. There's probably spies standing around. They probably had the place scouted out.
And he's well aware that they're coming. He wasn't trying to hide or anything like that.
Yeah, he doesn't, and nor does he try to escape.
No.
Godders is freaking out.
Yeah, this line right here, the crown has soldiers searching river, so it ends here.
Yeah. Like he's resolved. He's basically like just making the most out of whatever he can't control, kind of thing. That's sort of how he operates. Jesus Christ! He's just like, well, fuck, man. He's you're just going to sit. Why aren't you freaking? He goes, I can't pack up my whole life and to go to this dress. So he's giving him a plan to escape and get out of there.
Yeah, he's basically saying, go to Atticus. Atticus will protect you, and you're going to tell Atticus where Helga and Pearl are.
Yeah.
And you're going to write your account there, and you're going to sign it.
Right. And he'll keep you secure and safe.
And when my ship is ready, I will come for you.
Right.
I will send for you.
My fucking computer. I gotta unplug some of these USBs, man.
And then I think Godfrey says, "You don't have a bloody ship."
Yeah. Well, that's coming. Right. Yeah, we missed that part. But damn, I thought I got that screenshot. Oh well. Anyway, not yet. I don't have a ship. I'm gonna get one. This is very I will gladly repay you Tuesday kind of stuff going on. It's like, what are you saying? You're not gonna have this crap in time. So the soldiers are on their way with their kooky Roman helmet things.
Godfrey is so super stressed that it's frustrating him that James is so calm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then James goes in and he goes, all right, ladies, this is where what do they call them? Mollies?
Yeah, they're called mollies.
Mollies. I just don't want to, okay. You might want to leave this place. And they're like, they're having a little fun day. And oh yeah, the one goes, soldiers? Then we should stay. And wow, what a screenshot. Jeez Louise. That's the face I make when I have a burrito.
You think they'd shave?
Oh, the hair and the caked on. Well, you put it on in the morning and it starts to flake off. Come on, I get it. It's all good. Yeah, man, there's just.
I mean, they live other lives when they're not in the Molly house, so perhaps shaving would.
This is like the Joker. This is what the Joker's family reunion looks like. So he just kind of goes in. He doesn't need to do much.
Want to know how I got this blush?
Yeah, this blush. Is that a Joker line?
Want to know how I got these scars?
Oh yeah, these scars. He tells a story about his dad cutting his face open.
He tells multiple different stories.
Yeah,
so you don't
I like
really
that.
know how it happened.
I love that part about the movie. All right, so let's keep reviewing Batman, everybody.
Yes.
So they're dismissive of him, or just kind of like, yeah, whatever, pal. This is our house. You don't get to tell us what to do, kind of attitude. But then he just scares them, and very quietly, because there is a lot of violence, the extreme violence that is coming your way. Like, you're gonna be fucking hurt if you stay. You bet you don't understand what I'm saying here. And he gets it, and he's like, oh shit, we better listen to this crazy dude with his face scar. And so they like I say Molly, that's just the name. Molly, come on ladies, let's go. So they get up and they run off, and he just sits down. The soldiers are rushing in. He takes their bench there. Look, they got fruit on the table. They got all kinds of stuff here. They got lights and pillows and chairs and stuff. By the order of the king, he must be taken alive. And so by the order, there is King Majesty, King George. He just like sorts the cards. I thought that was very interesting that he does that. Yep. He just like puts the card, kind of packs the cards back up a little bit. And then these guys come in with their stupid, silly little helmets and stuff that denote that they're part of the authority. And you're hereby charged with high treason. And then one of them hits him in the face. Ugh, ow, my face. Mr. Dumbarton. Okay, next scene. Dr. Dumbarton. Dumbarton. Dumbarton.
Dr. Dubs Dumbarton.
Do the Bartman. Yeah, so this line was weird, though. Like,
yeah, well, my reds are red and my whites are white and my blues are blue.
No. He has he sounds like he's from Illinois. He's got a regular American accent. Like somebody pointed out that the American accent wouldn't have been this clarified at this point in history.
No, I was trying to do a bad accent.
No, I know what you were doing, but your accent was great. In fact, I enjoyed it. I hope you do it again. But I didn't mean to correct you there. I was saying though that his American accent keeps tripping me up because of that one commenter of ours pointed out.
Oh yeah, it's total bullcrap.
That this American accent wouldn't be this American.
No, it's like the Walking Dead thing with the scrappers or the junkyard people suddenly devolving their language after 2 years of living in an apocalypse. It's so stupid.
Yeah. So for him saying something sort of inspirational or whatever the fellow he's trying to say, he does dye. He dyes the fabrics and stuff and makes flags or whatever. Yeah, it was just goofy.
So basically what happens is the messenger tells him that a merchant has been arrested for high treason, and you got to get out of here. People are on to you. They're coming for us. And he's like, nope, not until I get these grass stains out.
Yeah. And this guy here, he's thinking, I wish I had a longer gun. It's not long enough.
Overcompensating?
Yeah. This gun is to make up for my 4-inch centimeter wee-wee.
They do wear very tall hats.
Yeah,
too.
they do. Yeah. Well, hey, everybody overcompensates. I overcompensate so much I drive a broken down fucking Subaru.
Did you ever see just go kind of on the tall hat thing real quick? One of the funniest things in video game history I've ever seen. It's a scene from the Hitman, actually.
I remember.
And it's a chef guy who was wearing one of those very tall chef hats, right?
Yeah.
And I think what happens is that the Hitman throws a knife and it sticks in like the very top part of the hat, and he just falls over dead. He's like, is that a cone head? I mean, come on.
Like a full foot above his head.
Yes. It's like, really?
I wish it bled. Like,
I am betrayed.
Honestly, if that was in like a real live action movie where a chef gets nailed, that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
And then they pull it off slowly, but it's like trying to take one of those cakes out of the cake shaper tin thing. All right, so he's in the now he's been arrested and
did we mention that the soldier knocked him out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did mention that. So he's got the cut on his face.
Yeah,
got the grumpy looking soldier.
To get through this scene pretty quickly, he basically gets taken to jail, stripped naked, and beaten pretty badly by the soldiers.
Yeah. Oh, take that, tattoo guy. Yeah, they make him naked and they beat him up, hit him with a club, and they yell at him about being mean to the king and shit, and they're just sort of goons.
It looks painful. They're using like a very thick wooden, like this is like a bedpost almost.
That looks like a piano leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's like solid oak, it looks like. Yeah, that would hurt.
It doesn't take much to have a weapon. I could start hitting you with my keyboard and it would fuck you up. I could hit you with a an empty paper towel tube. No, that's not true. I shouldn't have made that about you. I should have made it about me because I felt like that was insulting. Oh, but he's a survivor. He doesn't fight back. He's just resolved to whatever happens, and there's his little butt, and he's got some Morse code on his back for some reason. So bad day, not a comfy spot. At least they bothered to put down some hay for him, though. Yeah. I would gather it all up and make a bed, or maybe weave myself a fun hat in case I go to the racetrack.
You could collect resources and start crafting.
Yeah, I would craft myself maybe a fiber gloves. That's a reference to 7 Days to Die. Everybody, check it out. Lorna Bowe, here she goes. I actually like the way she was walking for some reason in this shot. She was just moving, going quick. Oh, look at another doggy.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Look at this big dog. Oh, that's a horse. That's a horse. She's what did you notice?
Oh, the Greyhound as well. I was paying attention to that.
Look, this says Black Cox. Brick Cox.
Pretty sure.
No, I know. Of course it doesn't.
It does kind of look like it.
It's just one of the funnier combinations of words. And off she goes. Hello, sir. Good day. Whoa. And kids speaking. And she sees these little street urchins, and they're look, they got some weed over here, James. That's pretty fun.
So she recognizes the kids as the same ones from the shore.
Yep, these are
the ones that Winter hung out with.
Yep, now they're in some alley here.
Yep, and she sees specifically the one that ran away from her.
This is Diagon Alley. That's a Harry Potter joke.
Hey, Paul.
Hello, Harry Potter. So she's a muggle visiting this little wizard boy, and he's looking sad. Oh, I'm supposed to be in a different movie. I got escaped from the set of Hook. All my references are so old. I'm very old and ancient.
So this part I need a little bit of clarification from you on because you've seen it twice.
Yes.
So he's at a shrine and he says, I want her to forgive me.
A winter shrine, yeah.
And she says, for what? And it's got winter.
I got the sense. So go ahead.
Did the East India Company kill her and he saw it and they threatened him not to say anything, or did they force him to kill her?
That was never clarified, I don't think. Because I was confused about the exact same thing. I couldn't tell. At first, I thought it was the kid killed her in some way. That would have been really horrifying.
I mean, the kid being as little as he is, and Winter was a much stronger, bigger kid. But if you walk up to someone and stab him in the gut real quick, there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, you catch anybody off guard, you spill their guts out. Yeah, I don't know how that all went down because so she offers him a little kindness and she's looking for the truth here.
The important thing though is we know James didn't do it now.
We also know that we have living witnesses too.
Yeah,
those two are the important things.
Well, actually, no, he's also a ghost.
Oh yeah, he's a ghost. Yeah. That's why he has the puppy dog eyes that they have from the Little Rascals.
And she's a ghost whisperer. That's why she can see him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a ghost screamer. I scream when I see them. That's why I scream when I see James when he's naked. Which has never happened, thank God. I'm just lucky enough to. Okay. All right.
I'm a never nude.
Yeah. Okay, so Brace is cleaning up an old cast iron pot here. Look at his fucked up hands.
You're not really supposed to see that his hands are messed up just as of yet. It gets revealed after he furiously scrubs the pot.
But they're not going out of their way to hide it either.
No, but most people aren't watching frame by frame.
Well, we're pretty good at noticing when people's hands are fucked up. Human beings, we look at each other's faces and hands more than anything else. So, we see the hand and we go, oh, your hand's all fucked up. Don't touch me, you fucking work monster.
And the question that we had before is clarified in this very scene because she has she being Lorna has a conversation with a kid off camera where the kid confirms that it was the East India Company that killed Winter.
As we can tell by her arrival. But he's sitting here, he's going, Jesse, we've got to cook. We've got to cook meth.
He's not Bryan Cranston.
Mr. White. No, Mr. White. We don't have any methylamine. Oh, okay, dumbass. And so she's upset though. She it wasn't James that killed. It was the East. I thought she was like freaking out. See, my memory is bad, even though I've seen it twice. It was the East India Company. I think she is. I think I just got screenshots where she doesn't look. I do recall her being kind of worked up about this. She heard from the kid that this is the case. So it doesn't explain, to answer your question though, that the kid did it, because this statement right here could be true.
That they hired him or forced him to do it. We don't know the exact circumstances, but they are behind it.
They're behind it. It's them. It's not like the little boy was like, I'm going to kill my friend. And then just, But he could have been manipulated.
Now it's focusing on the hands, making sure we don't miss it.
Yeah, definitely making sure we don't miss it.
And I got the impression he wasn't really even listening or cared about what she was saying, because he starts going into, arsenic is gentle, it was mercy. Yeah. Horace was no longer a Christian soul. I only wished I'd killed James too, gave him a kind death, protect him from himself. Instead, they've got him. They took him to the tower, where no one will be kind enough to feed him arsenic.
Right. So it's a very complex, not necessarily it's a layered thing he's saying, because he's saying, like, I wanted to kill him because now he's in even more danger.
Yeah, I can't protect him from himself now because he's going to meet a far worse fate that I could have prevented.
Yeah, like this is if James and I are walking down the street and I'm about to get hit by a car, and James, to protect me, gives me arsenic. Yeah. It's weird. It's like, I get what he's saying. He's saying, and he's hurt because his buddy, he does care about this family. They are his family. Mm-hmm. So he's very upset about it. He's distraught, but it's also like, I would have killed him to prevent him from being tortured. So I get it, though. I get where he's coming from. It is peculiar, though.
So even though he was absolved of guilt by James, he's still haunted by it because he still feels a sense of betrayal to Horace Delaney as well.
Yeah.
And now he feels a sense of failure for James.
Yeah. Also, I haven't brushed my teeth in 400 years.
I was trying to come up with some sort of a Colgate reference, but I couldn't do it.
Colgate, the original Colgate was Cole had a scandal. Colgate. Yeah, that didn't make any. That was dumb. Okay, so we're back at a scary dungeon prison here. He's got a I almost called it a helmet, a bag on his head. Okay. And looking bad.
Remember when Bo was captured by the same people?
Yes.
And it was by Coop. And it was Bo, right? Where he kind of stripped her shirt off and
they threatened her.
So he's like the Prinny's thug guy who comes in and starts pressing for information, which is what he's now doing to James.
Right. But first he explains, like, we've got a doctor here. He goes, who will do the most. He's introducing these men that are going to cause. Look at these torture devices.
Mr. Arrow, I think his name is. This
looks like a cat turd. Scooper for a cat litter, but all these things are horrible. There's a rat running along them to add extra insult to torture weapons. So
essentially Coop is saying that he wants all the names of the people who were involved in the gunpowder plot, and he wants all the names of all the Americans that were involved in it as well, and if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna torture you.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't like this stuff, so let's just do this easily. And he's like, nah, it doesn't go. Then
it cuts to the Americans burning all their documents.
Yeah, this is Chumley actually burning this stuff. This is an interesting shot here, actually. He sets this on fire, the camera keeps rolling, and he just gets up and puts his hat on. So he just lights the paper and walks away?
It's not like he has a house filled with explosive chemicals.
or wood.
Or has any sort of knowledge about chemical reactions and fire and combustion.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's why he could walk away, because he knows this is a safe burn.
Yeah, maybe.
He is. You kind of proved the opposite point with that. He's sort of an expert at it. So okay, maybe the paper will just burn and it'll be fine. But every once in a while, one of these little drift things will fly around the room.
In England, it even rains indoors.
It rains. Yeah. So everything is covered in a layer of moist. Layer of moist. That'd be a good name for a dating pro. That's one of my most hacky jokes. I always say it. It's horrible. But most pressing of all, this is still the guy talking, though, by the way. This is Coop talking to look at some of the items. He's got, what's that say, albacore? I can't tell. Netherlands? No, I can't. But this is all his chemicals and stuff. Look at these cool bottles. Those would be cool coin jars. Take him to the Coin Star. The Society of Secret Correspondence. This is the woman.
The Americans, essentially.
This is Carlsbad?
Yes.
Right? I can't believe I got it right. So she's setting some shit on fire, too, and, all kinds of they're burning up all the evidence. They know that the game is up, the jig is up, and see this. Oh, maybe the camera didn't keep rolling in that previous shot, like I said. But anyway, so here he is. He walks away while it's still burning. It's just paper. Paper burns quick.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So safety first is all my. So you will await trial and not an unpleasant view of the River Thames, and so everything will be fine if you give us all this information.
So James does the surprising thing and says, "Yeah, I'll give you all the information, but I want one thing in exchange, and I want a private meeting in this cell with Sir Stuart Strange."
Right, and that's something they're not going to give him just automatically.
Not right away. No.
Yeah. So he's like, it even makes him laugh.
It's an absurd thing. It's like, do you think the established Sir Stuart would lower himself to the likes of you and come to this dastardly place?
Right. Yeah, so he knows that the news is out there, and if you allow my meeting with Strange, it's weird when he talks because, thank God the subtitles. I mean, we could have understood him too, but when you can't see someone's face, it's like he didn't even need to show up for work that day. But then this guy comes out. I didn't get a shot of this.
Arrow.
If you can kind of see it right there, it's like a cheese grater.
I actually watched this thing. I rewound it 3 times trying to figure out exactly what's being done to him. And at first I thought it was like a rolling pin and they were like crushing his manhood with it. And then I heard like a ripping sound, like they were ripping like his pants.
Yeah.
And they were like maybe cutting him with it.
You can see it a little there.
It's got like a blade to it almost.
But it's got it. Honestly, I think it's like the best analogy is like a cheese grater. Like it's got a bunch of staggered sharp edges.
Yeah.
And it's got handles on both sides.
Is he rubbing on the insides of his legs?
Yeah, I think he's basically scraping off the skin on his leg.
Yeah.
Which even a tough guy it's hard to survive because you get the opportunity for infection is crazy depending on exactly. But yeah, and so it's a very weird weapon thing because he kind of lifts up his dress or whatever you call that thing.
And James can take a lot, but he immediately starts screaming.
Oh no! Yeah, he doesn't not feel the pain, but he definitely doesn't use it to influence him. Yeah. Doesn't allow it to influence him. But yeah, big scary bald head. I like that they make bald people evil. That's one thing that's a theme throughout my life.
You never see like a torturer or a warden or anyone who's in charge of prisoners in like a medieval type prison with hair. Never.
Yeah, the Sir Ilan Payne from Game of Thrones.
An executioner with an axe never has hair.
And villains, Lex Luthor, all kinds of evil bad bald guys. Dr. Manhattan, me. So it puts it on there. Oh, there's wearing that dog thing. I get same clothing. So 1, maybe 2 hours.
Well, he asked how long it'll take before he can break them.
Right. That's the same mask I wore to prom, by the way. So there he goes, and you're torturing me. So this is a scary scene, man. This whole torture stuff. The Brits did a lot of torture. Europe had a lot of fucked up torture. We've all seen the crazy pictures, the Iron Maidens and the wacky stuff.
And I think the last thing that Coop says is that Strange is a busy man and leaves James to
we're not going to bother him. So Chichester is waiting. He needs this stuff to go down, and all kinds of crap has happened without that's kind of blowing up his plan here. He's just holding that nail there. So then they're waterboarding him, which is also just there's no debate. This is torture.
Yeah, this is especially horrific though for him.
Yeah,
because he has a drowning phobia about those flashbacks with his mother.
Is it a phobia?
It's a constant thing that haunts him.
Well, it's haunted by it, but does it give him comfort or is it a phobia?
I think it's extra traumatic to him because of it.
I'm not asking that because I know the answer.
But then again, if the man was afraid of water, he wouldn't constantly walk out into it.
Yeah, he's always running around in the water, and he goes to the water and bathes in it. I don't think it's that's why I don't think phobia might be the right word, but I couldn't tell, though. I was wondering about that myself. Like, maybe it gave him an extra layer of defense against it because he had that kind of, like, psychological connection to the water.
Even like the toughest people in the world can't take waterboarding for like more than 20 seconds.
There was a radio host in Chicago, a real douchebag, and he was convinced this is during the Bush era.
Was this Mancow?
Yeah, Mancow, when they were torturing people, when the Americans were torturing people in Guantanamo because we're fucking savages, and they were using waterboarding, and Mancow was adamant it was not waterboarding, we're not waterboarding people.
It was not torture.
Well, sorry, it was not torture. Waterboarding was not torture. So people would disagree with him and fight with him, and he had his supporters.
He decided to do it.
He had his detractors, and then so he agreed to do it. You hold out this little like thing in your hand and you let go. That's how they'll stop it. 1 second.
Yeah, and they didn't even do it extremely. They just moistened it a little bit.
The lightest bit they could do. Oh fuck! Because what happens is your head fills with water, and your brain decides you're dying. And so your body goes into panic death, and it's absolutely 100% torture. Nobody can withstand it.
I think he even says when it happens, I don't want to say this, but absolutely torture, 100% torture.
Yeah.
He comes out with a...
immediately. He's like shaking. He's like, he's psychologically, he's like, it's torture. It's torture. Yeah. And he had every incentive to pretend like it wasn't. Yeah. Because he didn't want to look like a dumbass. But hey, it's fucking torture. It's not debatable. So anyway, and his whole body in this one was like, going nuts. He was like shaking around. There he is, and sort of that. Like if you see the little blurriness, his whole body was shaking like crazy.
He's convulsing on the table.
Yeah. It was intense, man. This is an intense episode, and it kept getting worse too. Well, sort of. But then they finally release him a little, and they pull him up, and and he always says, "Sir Stuart Strange."
Yeah.
So he just makes his demand.
He won't give in. Yeah.
Won't give in, and then golf.
Yeah, this is the Legend of Bagger Vance.
Yeah. Oh, it really is. Before they learned that you could shave the grass and make it smaller.
Yeah, so this is like one of the very few times we've seen Stuart Strange outside of his normal setting.
I love that he still wears the big old overcoat, the hat, and it's just a golf thing.
And this scene in particular is just horrific because he has not personally seen Chichester before.
Right.
And if you notice by his associate on the field that apparently caddies were typically African. I keep saying African American. This is in London.
You say black guy.
I never know how to be PC.
Yeah, I know. It's you're no one's gonna fault you for trying to be sensitive about it. But they're the black guys.
A black guy.
Yeah,
or a man of African descent.
African origin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he immediately says, "Oh, you're walking up on me. Go find your master or something like that, you caddy."
Yeah, dude, you must have lost your guy.
Yeah, it's like, what a piece of garbage.
Yeah, he's just super dismissive of him. It's horrible. I caddied for 4 years, so this hits all. This really hits all. And
Chichester is a big enough man to basically say,
this was a smart little.
You're mistaken.
I like this little line though. He goes, "You're not a player." He goes, "You're obviously not a player." He goes, "No, not of this game." He's, "I'm playing another game though, bitch," is what he was saying, which I like. And he kind of gave him a look like, because he also isn't used to black guys talking back to him at all.
Yeah, and the fact
even
that
politely.
He appointed 2 people specifically to protect him from this man. Make this go away. Don't let him get to me. And now he's out in the middle of nowhere with no one to protect him.
Right.
No filter between him and this man. He's a cornered rat.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and he recognizes the name though, and he goes, "Oh, that guy, huh? I have nothing to say to you." And he storms off. And for something was kind of funny about this guy picking up the club and the ball. I don't know why. I was just like, all right, well, this is over. I guess I'm not going to leave it out here. So shitty golf course, but hey, this is the early days. I have a testimony from a reliable witness, and that it was you who organized. He's just telling him what's up. This guy's pretty straightforward. I think you should know that even now he's being held, and your reliable witness is a plotter against the life of the king.
So Strange is not concerned because he's like, "I know your witness is James Delaney, but you'll have his testimony is worthless, for he is a treasonous piece of trash who is in a jail cell right now. So you have nothing on me. Good day, sir."
Yeah, I bid you good day. And then Chichester, "Another witness, bitch."
And this is where Stuart Strange drops a giant load of crap in his pantaloons.
Yeah, he's got. That's why he's wearing the extra big top coat. Top coat? Do they call? Is that a thing? Top coat? I don't know. My brain just had an embolism. So this is an interesting little moment, though. I thought I was like, good for Chichester. I'm not sure what Chichester wanted to get him. Maybe just to rattle him or something.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so now we've got Goddard's dressed up like he's in his Molly gear, and he meets the guy with the face markings who's there. He doesn't say anything.
This water was first sight.
It's love at first gasp. Yeah. This water was remarkably clear, though. It's like got this like kind of seaweed growth crap underneath it.
But the boat actually has a giant Brita filter on the back of it.
Oh, that's what does it. Yeah. That's cool. A lot of charcoal, reverse osmosis, and so now he's rowing. Just talk about a professional wrestler, huh?
Yeah,
and then there he is, and
so this is the guy who's taking Godfrey off to hiding with Atticus's guys.
Yeah, so he can get his story out there. But good costume, People are gonna, people are wearing hoods and blonde hair and stuff.
It's the first time he's actually been discreet in public, not running around saying, "I intend to betray."
What if he was standing in the boat, just running? Yeah, this water has been okay. Okay, so this whole sequence is kind of funny.
I love this.
We got Prinny. He's spinning the globe. Looks like he's staying up. Looks like he's wearing like a sleep hat or something like that. I wear a hat when I sleep sometimes when it's cold. Yeah, I don't have anybody to rub it for me.
He knows that he's not going to get Nooka Sound until Delaney is broken, and he's waiting for news from Coop, his informant, his financial political guy.
Yeah.
To come back in the room and say, yes, he's broken, no need to worry, everything's fine now, we got what we wanted.
Yes, and so he tells him, no, and then James, what does he say? Right next screen, you can read it as soon as I press the button. What does he say?
It's spin faster.
Damn it! I tried to get James to swear. Motherfucker, I can't do it. I've been foiled again. But he bats the globe. Fuck! I like that he hits it to spin it, not knock it off the table or something. So then we got another cage thing, and oh no, here we go with some.
So now he's basically saying Mr. Arrow isn't working, so now let's go with Dr. Ling.
Dr. Ling and torture and wear this fucking gimp mask with the breathing hole or something. You got some eye slits. Those are for quarters if you really want to bug him.
Yeah, he says something like his unearthly potions alter perceptions.
Yeah, he has a certain capacity for pain. They mention, and then so they put I didn't understand this right away. I mean, obviously as soon as you put the funnel there, but I didn't really even see the hole right away because I was like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy.
I would immediately start blowing bubbles.
Turns into like a kazoo.
Couldn't you just like stick your tongue up against the little tip of it and then stop the liquid?
It's not gonna be totally sealed to your face. Maybe you could divert it with your lips and like press your lips up against it. Lips are remarkably nimble.
It seems like there'd be a way to circumvent that.
He's been tortured for several hours at this point. He's in tremendous agony. I think he doesn't really have much of an upper hand here.
Now, do you think he's actually in that as an actor? Or do they have like a poor PA or a stand-in in there?
Well, it wouldn't be a PA. I doubt that guy's out getting coffee. But I doubt they. I don't know. It's hard to know that. I always wonder that when it's not the thing. But some actors would insist on it being them too. And Tom Hardy seems like the kind of guy that would probably be like, "No, it will be me." Is he American or British or
is he Australian?
Australian?
I don't know.
Or
I know he's not American.
Or miscellaneous. Yeah. Fucking Canadian.
And this is the point where he says, "My punishment must be more severe."
Who says that? Is that a line from something?
Your punishment must be more severe. That's as Bane, Tom Hardy, Batman. We talked about Batman earlier, so now I figured it's good to talk about Batman again.
Oh, punishment must be more. Right, fuck that shit. So they dump in something like he has this Dr. Ling. I didn't miss that shot of the guy, but so he pours his fluid into his mouth and it kind of goes down. And what do you think? It's some kind of hallucinogen?
It's children's Robitussin.
It's Robitussin?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's cow urine. We could think of some other funny liquids and say those words. So I'm guessing some kind of drug though,
which is hallucinogenic,
and that's a common thing in torture. So like inject them with heroin or some sort of a drug to fuck them up, and it's a really you can do some mean shit to people. So oh no, a tree, and he starts having all these like weird little flashback moments. You can tell because they bled out the desaturated it and up the yellow on that one. So, we got some light, and so there he is hunting. He's got a big stick. I don't know, he's hunting.
Now, it's kind of unclear as though this is him spirit walking or if this is a flashback to him in Africa.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of not that. I don't know.
It's not him in Africa? That's what I think it is.
It looks like they tried to make swastikas and then they gave up. No, that's not. But you see the bird color. I saw a tree. A piece of water fell on him from up above.
A piece of water?
Whatever they call them. I don't know.
A drop of water?
Yeah. What, a drop's not a piece of water? A chunk of water? What do you want me to say, James?
Tear me off a piece of that water there. Break me off a piece of that water.
You know what? Some of us are innovators and some of us are followers, okay? All right? You fucking goozer. Loser. Oh, and look, it's the bird. But it's a human skeleton. I noticed this. So you got some human bones. Those are some femurs, I think. Those are the tibia and the fibula. And but it's like the bird. It's like the same bird model. Right. I think that's why I think this is like a dream. Well, obviously it's
Do you think that means that he knows his mother died in captivity?
Or maybe it's him in captivity.
But the bird would suggest that this mother, Salish, wore the bird feather dress.
But he's got they cut from a shot of the bird on his back to this.
But the bird is a symbol of the Nuka tribe where his mother's from, which is another link to his mother.
But the bird is the symbol of him because he has it burned on his back, and it's all he ever wants and identifies.
But don't you know about the bird? Everyone says the bird, there's a word. You beat me to it!
No, we stumbled into it together.
Bird.
We were like the last people that finished marathons. You know how their legs are all fucked up and it's been like 12 hours.
Collapse into
but they help each other at that point. They're like, we just gotta get across the fucking end here. I cry when I watch that shit because it's like, man, I would have given up after the first half mile. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Is that him or his mom? Or maybe it's Big Bird. It's Big Bird's brother. Yeah. So rib cage and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of crazy though. It's Jon Snow. All right. Oh gosh, that's not good either. Cool tree though. Gotta love it. And geez, at least he's wearing something to cover up his wee. But look, he's got the same eye thing that the little boy had around his nip.
Okay.
That's a good time. Yeah, so this is a whole bunch of weird, crazy stuff. That's a face, it looks like, right there. Screaming. We got some weird...
it's like eels almost.
Yeah, it's like eels slithering around. And, this show takes some kooky turns. I wonder what's like filming this. They're like, all right, lunchtime. And she's like, I'll take a mac and cheese. Craft services, they only serve mac and cheese. So, yeah.
And the Sunbeam branded with the
bird. I didn't back it up. Yeah. My bird back. So yeah, that's the violence.
That's when he was getting beaten up by that guy who was hired by the Americans. Remember?
Yeah, this must be right. That one shot where he bunks him on the head.
Yep.
Doink. Didn't even catch that one. Water. And so that's Zilpha having a terrifying orgasm or something, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Oh, Geary!
Oddly enough, he pulls the mask off and it's Geary.
That's horrible. I hate that shot. That's fucked up maggots and
that's pleasant.
God, sorry everybody. Those are human skulls.
Like bushes of baked beans.
Boy, you had to go there, didn't you, James? You had to go too far. You went too far, and then it's the American flag. So this is all sort of stuff just cooking around in his head, and but they submerge him too. Like that's what the other crazy part about this whole thing is they put you underwater with it, and so then he's spinning the globe, this guy, and printing. Man, I'm printing. Man, I'm gross and sweaty. I sweat oil, and I'm ugly. And comes in. No, not doing it.
Yes.
The ducks will be flying. You can say ducks, right?
Yes.
Say ducks with an F.
Ducks with an F.
Fuck. Damn it. It's been 12 hours. He will break. No, he won't. He will not break. Give him. And is that where it says give him what he wants? Yeah. Yeah, he says give him what
Does he give it to him?
Well, no.
No, he does not say give him what he wants yet.
Not yet. Okay, you're right. Yeah, we got a little bit more to go. Okay, that's how okay. So there's Dr. Stuart Strange. And boom, the lady at the lodging center. So now they're looking for Godders, is what's going on.
They find out that Strange is informed that not only is Godfrey a Molly, but he's the source of the leak for information about James.
Yeah, and
he's completely screwed now. He has to be on the run.
They learn about the Molly lifestyle that they didn't know about, and he goes, "I went into his room, sir, and half of his things were clothes, or half of his clothes were women's clothes." And he goes, "Oh, really? What? Whoa, this day's just getting crazier and crazier." So Delaney was arrested. I was putting it all together in his head. Yeah. Delaney was arrested at my house, and so he put Godfrey up to this. So giving up Delaney is treason and blah, blah, blah. So they're going to get Goddard too.
And he says that Godfrey is now in a place protected by people where giving up James is considered treason.
Oh, that's what it is.
So we're not going to get to him.
The king, he called him the king of the whorehouse or some shit like that. Yeah. So, but like, what happens if you're wet for that? Like, if you're underwater, must fuck up your skin eventually. It must be really bad. And he's got wounds and stuff. And
yeah.
So anyway, this guy's, look, he's learning about Pokemons, doing something. I'm not sure what he's up to, studying anatomy, or that's the doctor that's there to, evil guy. So they lift up his head, give anything to say to me. They pull the face off him, or no, he doesn't. They don't do that at all. And then he goes, Stuart Strange. So he just...
he says, oil can.
They're like, God damn it. There's Dr. Ling back there, and like, fucking shit. And so he comes back and he smacks it again. Reverses the spin of the earth. That's how angry he is, just like when Superman did it.
Yeah.
I know. It actually could be time travel. We don't know if he actually reversed the flow of the earth. He went so fast that he reversed the flow of time.
Yeah, so this is where Prinny says, give him what he wants.
Give him what he wants. But he says it without looking up at him, which I thought was a nice touch. And then what does he want? They cut to America. Where the hell is this? So that's Florida. Where's the ocean?
Well, no, it's Nuevo Mexico. This is like the...
New Mexico?
Yes.
I know, that's Florida here. There's the Great Lakes.
California's to the left of that.
Well, this shit was all fucked up.
It just wasn't mapped, really.
Yeah, like, they didn't even bother with the rest. Like, there's the edge of... That's got to be the ocean, but then it just kind of, like, tapers off into, like, land here.
Things were not called then what they're called now.
Yeah, well, no doubt. And also, like, the lakes are, like, they're not... Well, I know Mexico, like, all the western territories was California. Mexico, Texas was all, like, big chunks before... Big old, that's the Huron Bay, right? There's some New York stuff. Okay, so all right, well they're going. Okay, so they didn't have Google Maps like we do. So Stuart Strange does agree. This is him going.
Well, not only he doesn't technically agree, he's forced to go by the crown.
Right,
and he is not happy about it.
Yeah. So they brought out Delaney, and he's there and writing a little letter, working on a thing. Stuart Strange comes in, and he's a little pissed off, and.
He goes, your plan worked. Now you're in jail and I'm on a hook. Or something. You're going to sell me on a hook.
Me on a hook? You're going to sell me on a hook? I'm here. What do you want? And he looks up at him and he says the famous line,
I have a use for you.
I have a use for you. Whoa! I thought that was a cool ending, though. The use for you stuff was all really tied the whole episode together.
He's going to bring his arch nemesis into the fold of his plan.
What do you think his use is?
I don't know.
I'm very excited to find out. And it's already aired, so we could probably do it real soon here.
Well, yeah, we'll get the episode tomorrow.
Well, we'll see if we have the time, because life.
And we got Walking Dead to do as well.
Yeah, we got all kinds of other ones to work on. So we're trying.
And we got to go to the Molly house.
Yeah, we deliver wigs. Yes. They wear out. So good episode.
We stress test.
Did you enjoy the?
Yeah, it was great. I liked it.
Yeah, Well,
I'm excited to see how things reach ahead in the final episode.
It's a very good setup for the finale. Obviously, there's a good showdown. We got a couple of good face-offs. We got Stuart Strange versus Chichester. We got Stuart Strange versus this guy, James Delaney.
This guy. Yeah, I think we've seen him a couple times.
Whoever this guy.
He's not that important.
Keeps showing up, this local swimmer. But overall, I was pretty compelled by the episode.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
I was as well. What you said.
That's what James says when we both share a burger.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to end. I'm very excited. I don't think he's going to get a ship. I've got a feeling like there's going to be some sort of violence. Atticus and his guys might show up and cause some trouble.
I want to say that what's going to happen at the very end is that he's going to get a ship and he's going to get the heck out of there and he's going to set sail with Godfrey, Lorna, Bryce, Atticus, maybe even Helga.
Yeah.
And they're going to start going towards the American blockade. But you had a theory that the whole thing, all the seasons are going to take place in London. But his sole motivation is to get on that boat and get out of there.
I had that. Was that my theory?
Yeah, you said you think it's all going to play out in London.
Yeah, you're right. I think it'd be surprising if they changed locales. But it would be kind of cool if all of a sudden it's like the next episode is just him like working out the intricacies of selling tea to Canton. Here's the thing. I have a use for you. Remember the past, and then we'll end after this. He said to somebody earlier that everybody who I have a use for will be on the ship with me or something like that. What if his plan is to somehow take Strange hostage?
But how could he possibly do that? He has no leverage in that cell.
He's got Atticus. He's got the group of street urchins,
Ursula.
The little kids, Ursula,
the Little Mermaid.
He's got the crab that lives under the sea,
Sebastian.
Wow,
I know all the songs
James,
as well.
James, I told you to quit going to the kids section at the library.
I want to be where the people.
I want to be a woman.
Want to see them dance.
I'm tired of my fish vagina, and I have a use for you, meaning like you're coming with me, bitch, and you're gonna be. I'm gonna weaponize this.
How he's gonna pull that off, though, I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe Bryce will bring that.
He's gonna tie him to the front of the ship, and he'll be the mermaid bust.
Yeah.
And people will look at it and say, "Well, that's strange."
Yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, that is strange, actually."
It is. Weird old man tits just flapping in the wind. No, he's not that fat. So so cool. Let's get to the next episode, though. Yeah. Sorry again. Apologies for being a little bit delayed, everybody.
I think he's gonna blow up Stuart Strange with wildfire.
Ah, yes, that he oozes out of his mouth. Yeah, because that's what they poured into his face. Wildfire is from Game of Thrones. That's the green shit that blows everything up. So. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. Like and subscribe. Please hit. Thanks for being part of our community and supporting us and being patient with our bullshit. And sometimes,
we'll try and get the next one up in less than a month.
Yeah. We know it's annoying for people that are really into it, so we don't think that we're not thinking about it when it's happening. So we do feel guilty. But other than that, onward, upward, and Excelsior. James, I have a use for you, bitch.
Does that mean you
Jesse? Jesse, get me a Diet Coke, Jesse.